You're listening to the No BS Bishop podcast. We're alive to love, and all other values are potential BS. Now here's your host, Bishop Randy Dean.
Welcome, 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 and hello, my beloveds. You have stumbled into and fallen into the moment that I want to bring to you for the next 25 minutes, Alive to Love. I'm Bishop Randy Dean, as you just heard in the introduction, and you have come to my broadcast, my podcast, and it is my pleasure and delight to open my heart, talk to you about the highest level of revelation on human nature, the highest level of God's purpose, the most beautiful expression that is required of every one of us to at least pursue. And that's what I'm going to talk to you today about, the pursuit, the reach for love. Okay? So I'm alive to love. I believe all lesser values than love devolve into bait and switch, which is BS, and you can make BS other forms of bait and switch. I do not subscribe to any kind of BS. I am in the pursuit of washing out all the BS in my life. So it's straight up, and it's straight up love, alive to love. So what we do here in these moments that we have together is I lead you in love's creed to start with, and then we'll share together in the Lord's Prayer. Those are matters that simply keep me in a focus, keeps me between the white lines of the highway, and it helps me pull you towards something that I hope you are drawn to. I want others to know that this isn't some vain idea of mine, but this is a lifelong pursuit, and I want you to join me in this pursuit. All right? So to that end, I've written Love's Creed. I'll give it to you in total, and then we'll go back, and I want you to repeat after me so you can hear your own voice saying something that is the invitation to a transcendent rising in this life and in this world. Okay? So if you'd like a copy of what you're going to hear, you can email me at randydeanministries@gmail.com, and it'd be my pleasure to send you a copy free of charge and no BS, no strings attached. Here it is. I'm alive to love. I am not on this earth for hate. I'm alive for love. I'm not breathing, eating, and sleeping to regain energy for causing pain. I am alive with plans, dreams, and designs, locked into anything and everything that is love. I am unavailable for anything else than love, anything less than love. I even stumbled over my own words. So there it is in total. Now let's go back. Let me give you short bursts of it. Repeat after me. Let your voice engage these truths. Here we go. I'm alive to love. I am not on this earth for hate. I'm alive for love. I'm not breathing, eating, and sleeping to regain energy for causing pain. I am alive with plans, dreams, and designs, locked into anything and everything that is love. I am unavailable for anything less than love. You know, every time I share that creed, I'm reminded of how it was birthed in my thoughts as a New Year's resolution. I knew this has been over a decade ago, and I knew simply that this was going to be my closing race in life, that I would go through the remainder of my days in the pursuit of this one powerful revelation and transcendent truth, love. And this creed was born in that passion. I offer it to you with that same passion. Now, speaking of passion, The disciples of Jesus said, hey, John's disciples are learning how to pray. Hey, how about you teach us how to pray? I think they may have had something more elaborate in mind, but Jesus said, well, don't be in your pursuit of praying. Don't be like some kind of repetitious student of spirituality where you want to show off. He said, go in a closet. Say things simply to God. I think that's important for all of us to remember. I see a lot of praying in Capitol buildings, a lot of praying in public places, that it's performance prayer. But Jesus said, don't get into that junk. It's a waste of breath and energy. Go into your closet. Go into a secret place. Close the door. And then pray like this. Join me, would you please? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. I believe in the simplicity and the depth and width of that prayer. The heights of it, I don't think any of us have truly explored. It'll take all of our life and perhaps all of eternity to see what that prayer has been all about. I've said this multiple times. The most prayed prayer in human history. It has been repeated by folks in every walk of life. Most times in churches, many times in AA meetings, many times in funerals. I'm telling you, this prayer has carried the heart of so many folks for so long that I just simply believe it resonates with something inside of us. So the pursuit of love, and out of the Lord's Prayer, I just believe love is the most natural reaching, stretching out my hand, leaning in for this marathon, not a sprint, this pilgrimage, not this hike for a day, no, this pilgrimage of love. I am convinced and stay convinced that if we will make this reach, the stretch of our thinking, the stretch of our meditations, the stretch of how we measure life, I'm convinced it changes us. And while we all want to change the world, we want a revolution. I'm going to get to the words from the Beatles song, Revolution, in a moment. But we all want a revolution. But doesn't the revolution really mean you, I, we, individually change? My run for love is not to get you to be a better lover. It's to reach for me to be a better lover. And I hope my reach inspires you, because all we really need is a revolution of love, a tenacious, exuberant reaching and grasping for love. Yeah, reach, grasp, stretch your hands out, like a child is trying to reach for the hand of their mama or their hand of their daddy. If the child feels a little insecure and mom or dad is just a little bit over there, and then mom and dad may not be aware that I'm reaching, but that child will reach and stretch. And I think we're all kind of like that child from day to day, reaching for love. But we've got to know, I know for me, laying down political swords and my determination to be right at the expense of others is what it takes to empty my hands so I can truly, genuinely, significantly, and magnificently reach for love. To learn how to invest my intellect. That's why I do this podcast, this broadcast. I'm investing my intellect at least once or twice a week to think through what is this thing about love, and how do I invest me more clearly, more truly, and to become an individual revolution of love, to invest my intellect, my passions, and research. I've got 3 or 4 books on love, and I find only 1 or 2 in my whole life that have really said anything worth spending time opening pages. And I don't mean that in an ugly way. I just mean that love has been rarely, genuinely written about to, I think, any beautiful way, but also intellectually honest way. To put our research into what love is what I'm doing and what I'm about. And this broadcast, my podcast, Sunday Night Sanctuary, I do off of Facebook Live, and I've got a book and a computer. Yeah, I know ad nauseum you hear about that, but I'm not going to put out another book that's just going to be another book that people will say, oh yeah, another one about love, blah, blah, blah. And that's my passion reaches past that. I want to know what love is, what it does, how it speaks, how it plans. What is it? What are the purposes that love is really, truly, genuinely about? And Jesus said that he wanted his disciples to love as he loved. He said, no greater love has this than one would lay down their life for their friends. So I simply want to know, what does love look like that lays down its life? And I don't mean just in an instant, but a lifestyle of laying down your life and knowing that through this wild, whirling dervish of a world that love really is the only way up, and it really is the only way out. Just this one blistering, painful moment of finding that love is rejected is enough to cause us to jump back and say, nope, not for me. But then you suddenly find your body, your emotions, your psyche, your thoughts, it all comes back to love. No matter how many times love gets beat up, kicked, shot at, thrown down, you come back to it and you realize, no, I need to love. I need to be loved. It's the only way up and it's the only way out. There's no other way out of this life. There's no other way through this life but love. And again, I don't mean just wishing for love, but love done. To daily have looked at my life and be able to answer my own inventory. Did I love today? Or did I just waste my time puttering, pilfering, managing moment by moment, just throwing life away a little handful at a time? But love done. Can I inventory the end of each day and say, I loved right there? And hopefully at the end of each day I can say, I spent this whole day in some pursuit of love. That's the exception, not the rule, unfortunately. But wouldn't life be more beautiful for you? Again, whatever else others may choose to do, all right. I simply want to be an inspiration if that's what they want to do. But for love to be this exuberant grasp, to look off into let me play with your imagination for a moment. If you could see a beach, a quiet, not a crowded beach. Oh, please, not a crowded beach. But just a simple but beautiful beach where you and maybe a dearest someone is with you. And you're looking out over the waters as they gently lap up onto the beach, and you're barefoot out there in the sand, and you're looking out at the ocean or the lake or whatever body of water turns your crank, and you stand there and you think, this is love. Love built that. Love created that. My heart beats with the lapping of the water. My heart rises and falls with every wave that I hear on the edge of the beach. My bare feet in the sand just feel the soaking warmth of love. That's what I mean. That takes some imagination, but it requires of us some stillness, some stolen moment where we push aside the busyness and the weirdnesses and the political noise. Oh my goodness. Here in the 21st century, the political noise is deafening, isn't it? Would we be able to get so still and quiet that we could maybe go to a beach? But if you can't go to a beach, and I haven't been to one in a while, but if you can't go, can you imagine? Can you quiet your thoughts long enough and just stand looking at an imaginary body of water and contemplate the height, the width, the depth, the breadth, the oceanic lapping of beautiful liquid up against that sand? Can you contemplate how sure love is for you? And now here again, now that may be a bit of a wish, but let's take it beyond wishing. Let's dwell in love. Let's dwell somehow, some way in love. To push beyond just a slide in here and a slide out there and a little lean here and a lean there, but push toward keeping me focused in an exuberant, tenacious grasp for love. I said at the very start of the broadcast today, I was going to take you over to the Beatles. You say you want a revolution? Well, you know, we all want to change the world. You say you want a revolution, but when you talk about destruction, don't you know you can count me out? When the Beatles wrote this song, it was 1968, and the United States of America was in a, we talk about political noise. The streets were full of protests. There were some peaceful protests by and large, but there were also some violent battles in our streets all across the United States. And the Beatles were approached. Now, they were from Great Britain, but in Great Britain, the same kind of sense of unrest was happening. And out of that unrest, they wrote this song that if you gotta fight with blood and might, the Beatles said, count us out. Because then all we got is what we've got. You're going to keep doing what you've always done, then you're always going to get what you've always gotten. It's the definition of insanity. But they said, let's reach for a genuine change of the world. But out of true revolution, the Beatles said, we all do what we can in our own sphere of life. We're all doing what we can. I don't want to contribute to your violent overthrow. I don't want to contribute to your verbal overthrow. I don't want to contribute to the noise. We all want to change the world. But when we do, we must change ourselves. The radical solution to it all is changing moi. Changing me. And learning to reach. Learning to set. Learning to run. And I don't mean run away, but I mean running to. To imagine. To dream. I can never, ever forget the first time when I was, in my middle-aged years as a pastor, and I read what Jesus said. By this, all people will know you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. And what kind of love is it unless you lay down your life for your brothers? Love others as I have loved you. That I don't even remember all the circumstances around me. I think at the time I was in a little church in Clyde, Texas, and overhead there were warplanes that were practicing for war. It was not far from Dyess Air Force Base in Abilene, Texas, and the B-52 bombers were almost daily, if not daily, just doing their huge journeys through the sky. And it was impressive to see those giant birds, but I knew down deep inside that if they ever had to do for real what they were practicing, it'd be the end of all humankind. And here I was, a young dad, and looking at a world that was practicing to self-destruct. It landed on me like a truckload of bricks. And when I read what Jesus said, by this all the world will know I am the Messiah, and you are my disciples indeed. And somewhere just in that very embryonic moment for me, it lodged. Love is all we need. And again, not love wished for, but love done. So in small ways from that point forward and to much larger ways till now, I live for love. Love alone. Love alone is my walk. Love alone is my thought. Love alone is what I inventory my day by. Did I love today? And was my love a wish, or was it the work, the heavy lifting of love? I repeat this often. I was 18 years old before I ever heard my father say, I love you. And he was saying it in a context of he'd almost lost his life to a medical emergency. I knew then that was one of the great, gigantic needs I had in life, but I didn't even know. I didn't even know how bad I needed it. Then it was many years, or not many years, but a few years earlier than that somebody came to me and said, I saw you in a dream last night, and in that dream I heard God say, tell him I love him. So all of that is to tell you that mystically, mysteriously, but also intellectually, psychologically, emotionally, I've been on a track. I've been on an exuberant reach for love. And I guess all I really want is some of you to join me. I don't have to have tens of thousands. I don't even have to have tens. Just one, just 2, 3, somebody. Come join me. Put aside all the other noise. Come join me in the run for love. Make it your mantra, your meditation, your contemplation. Make it your heart. Well, and to that end, I always come to a close of these podcasts, and I invite you to learn how to breathe deep. If you're going to love deep, you got to breathe deep. On the count of 3, I want you to take the deepest, best breath you can and hold it up against your belly. All right? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. Hold it. And exhale. Slow it down. Life doesn't have to be this sprint. Life doesn't have to be this constant run, go, talk, work. Life can be beautiful. If we breathe well, we live well. Then I want you to join me in learning how to say these 3 holy words. How to say it out of meaning. How to say it out of intention. How to say it with eye contact. How to say it as a revolution. You say you want a revolution? Try this. Say holy, beautiful, magical words. I love you. Maybe you want to try it in the mirror. Maybe you want to try it with your closest friend, your spouse, significant other. And maybe you just want to walk up to a stranger and just shock them right out of their socks and say, I love you. Does that sound crazy? Well, if it's crazy, just call me nutty. The nutty professor, the nutty pastor, the nutty bishop. Because love is the revolution we really need. We really, genuinely do need a revolution of love. Not love wished for, but love done. Well, the biggest mistake we make is thinking we still have time. I'm challenging you, be present. Be kind. Love more. Love now. Not later. Love now. Mother Teresa said once, go into the world today and love the people you meet. Let your presence light new light in the hearts of others. Well, I'm certainly no Mother Teresa, but I'm Bishop Randy, no BS Bishop. I'm not bait and switch you. I'm here to simply, exuberantly tell you, let's do something beautiful. And the most beautiful thing each one of us can do each day, the most beautiful, simple, but most expansive thing we can be a part of is to love the world we meet. See yourself as a leader of a revolution in a day and time that is screaming, crying, weeping for the end of hate, for the end of wars, for the end of constant debate and vitriol, insult. Let us be the people who have said, I've had enough. I'm leaning into the transcendency, the majesty of love. It is my life's passion. Well, again, thank you. Go out and do something beautiful today, folks, because you know, ugly is getting done to death. It is time for the people of love to do something beautiful and to see to it that light is shining in every corner of every path we walk, to be a people of a personal revolution that might just spark an entire world worth of revolution. A bloodless coup, a nonviolent coup of a world gone mad with hatred. That we would rise to the beauty of love's siren call. Come on out on that beach I mentioned earlier. Let's stand there and listen to the waves pounding at our feet. All right, I gotta go. I love you. God bless you and happy trails.
Thanks for listening to the No BS Bishop podcast. If you like the show, leave a comment on it. Or, even better, share it with your friends. And we'll see you on the next one.